What fire springs forth? What bile does bubble? The black moon swings, and the sky stirs trouble. By violent ends, we kill the light. Through the shadows, madness beckons. Weird at night.
1, 2, 3.
Evelyn, yes, Merrywince? How do you feel about the existence of the Great Cheese? The Great Cheese? God damn it, yes, Evelyn! The Great Cheese after life. The cheese we earned during our brief tenure in this absurd, exquisite crumb pile. The cheese of unending yield, infinitely soft and delectable. Well, Merrywince, if the promise of an infinite cheese afterlife motivates you to behave with empathy and concern for your fellow rodent, believe what you wish. Believe, Evelyn? Believe? Are you insinuating that the Great Cheese is something less than indisputably real, a certainty promised to us by virtue of our unyielding belief and surrender of personal properties? Yes. Good Gouda. Merrywince. Yes, Evelyn? Do you think we fear birth the way we fear demise? Oh, Evelyn, what could you possibly mean? Well, Merrywince, birth and demise are both times in our existence where we await an uncertain fate and enter them kicking and screaming. After birth, we find the peace of existence. What makes anyone so sure that death wouldn't be the same? Particularly with the unlimited Gouda! No, Merrywince. With the promise of nothing but another step in the existential chain. No rewards to bind you to morality, empathy, observance of your own effect on the lives of those who cross your path. A simple desire to give as you take, to recognize the beauty of life and the fleeting nature of youth. Shall we continue skipping merrily in our despair? What the hell? La 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 la.
Well, hello there, everybody. I'm Patrick Galactic, and this is Weird at Night. Somebody recently said that we should try to play a game to see how many times I say I'm Patrick Galactic, and it's a keen observation. I will say it a lot throughout the hour. But thank you so much for tuning in to Weird at Night. We're happy to have you here. We're happy because this is a community, not a show. And sometimes things are rough and sometimes things are great. But whatever it is, we're here for each other and we're here for you tonight. Thank you for being here. And before we get too far, interesting development. I had a bit of a kerfuffle with our friends over at Finecore because I thought that they were going to be a little more chill like they said they would be, and things got decidedly kind of unchill in the last episode, you know? So I was like, hey, you need to be chill, and they were like, no, and then I was like, yeah, and they were like, no, and I was like, just in that fashion for a couple hours, and then finally they just got tired and were like, okay. And so in good faith, they have agreed to let this episode go on Finecore free. So thanks again, Finecore, for not being here anymore. We have some news to share, and this is going to be cool. We have a very special episode of Weird at Night next Saturday, and it's starting on the channel at 9 p.m. We have three different things going on, maybe in similar fashion to something we did a while back called the Lonely Weird Trip to the Moon. But this is a very special event. Jimmy Jackson, who is going to start the night off at 9 p.m. with kind of a set of electro and dance. We worked together as part of one of Blazing Space's locally legendary shows, the best you've ever seen, in December. It was amazing. Jimmy's incredible. It's a live DJ set with visuals, so you won't want to miss that. Then there's going to be the premiere of Astral Media's brand new AV podcast, The Laboratory, with their special guest, Noel Brass Jr. at 10 p.m. Now, if you watch this show, you've heard Noel Brass a lot, because Noel Brass is incredible. This is somebody that I really admire, and I think you would love getting their perspective on music and why they do what they do. This is going to be a great, cool thing that's starting for the very first time at 10 p.m. And then Weird at Night has a very special start time at 11 p.m. next Saturday. We are going to take over the stream at the end. You can just tune in here at weirdatnight.com. We'll talk about what we watched, maybe have some of the old stupid fun that we always do, and we'll tune into Weird at Night next Saturday at 9, and we can just chill, get some munchies, call it a night. You don't need to go anywhere. It's going to be really cool. Here's a little preview for you, just to a little appetite.
1, 2, 3.
All right, so you can see there's a lot going on next Saturday, starting at 9. It's going to be fucking cool. So do not miss that. Tell some friends, bring some friends, because this is going to be the thing. If you've been maybe thinking about a way where some people who might like the show, but you're not sure how to get them involved because they don't know how to use Twitch or something like that, these kind of things are the perfect time because they can see a whole array of different things. They can see how chill it all really is and really just how fun it is. So we're going to have awesome art next Saturday. I'm so excited. So thank you, Blazing Space and Astral Media, for putting that together. We have such a stacked show tonight. This is Weird at Night, and if you're brand new, I just want to take a minute to say we are the twice weekly cosmic destination for creative conversation on the West Coast over here, 11:30 p.m. Pacific time, Tuesday and Saturday nights. We talk art, pop culture, we laugh, we get really, really real, and mostly walk away stronger for it, sometimes with stuff to think about. But coming up tonight, we have Meardeth, we have Blaze in Space. But first, we have a brand new return that I was not expecting, but we were graced with. Look who it is.
Shady Eyes. I'm reporting on a question. What the fuck is with my heart on my sleeve? I wear my heart on my chest. Question number 2. Why am I not translucent? Question number 3. Does God exist? And can he keep my fucking joint lit? Question number 5. Who the fuck infected me with the patriarchy? Question number 5011. Why don't I own a selfie stick? And why do I hate them so goddamn much? Question 6. Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? Final question. When am I getting my Sprite on my assignment? Shady Eyes. Looking out.
Wow. It's always so powerful to be in the presence of Shady Eyes, and you might have considered that Shady Eyes was trying to collect on some kind of Sprite debt, but I assure you no such thing is true. Shady Eyes and I are like that. The Sprite thing is completely metaphorical because of the tyrannical Ogolo. Shady and I have never discussed any of these things with me. We've never met in person, but when Shady Eyes talks, it all gets in. It all gets in. So, in moving forward here, we have some big news to share, and I hope you can see how cool this is, because it's very, very cool. We have a brand new Shop of One. It's not a Redbubble thing anymore, except we still have some stuff on Redbubble, but mostly not. And look at all the shit we got. We have a brand new little logo called, it says Psychoanalyze Your Parents. And that is an exclusive of the Shop of One. We also have some Weird at Night branded stuff. We have awesome designs from Matt Jenkins that you really, really need to check out. And if you really want to pledge if you want to pledge your loyalty to the core, you can also get a Fine Core polo shirt. There's even 2 kinds of Fine Core polo shirt. You can get a Shitty's Pizza hat. You can get a Weird at Night backpack. What the fuck? Come on, everybody. Money, money, money. Oh, wait. I mean, cool stuff for everyone. Look at that Shitty's Pizza t-shirt. Anyway, I spent way too much time working on this, but I really think if you check it out, you'll realize there's a lot of cool stuff there. And then down below, you can see we still have a little presence on Redbubble for certain stuff. So please check it out. I think you'll like it. Now, and Ash Maddie's dropping the link into the chat. I realized something a short time ago, and you need to know about this. If you don't buy masks from us, buy them from my mom. I didn't realize that my own mother, who her shop is called Morning Lori. My mom's awesome. So go to my mom's shop and buy a freaking mask, or at least look at them, because she makes them by hand and they're really cool. So she actually has a bunch of different kinds that are, some have a bunch of profanity in them and some don't. They're really fun. So check them out. That's Morning Lori on Etsy. That's my mom, everybody. And I just couldn't resist giving her a plug. I do apologize for that. Kind of, whatever. From my mother. Okay, so moving on. Have you ever heard of 100 to 46? It is Tim Basaraba's comic strip. It's daily. It's created daily. There are places you can watch it, but you can just find out a little more.
Our purpose is to ensure that literature and art fit well into the whole revolutionary machine as a component part, that they operate as powerful weapons for uniting and educating the people and for attacking and destroying the enemy, and that they help the people fight the enemy with one heart and one mind, one mind, one mind, one mind.
100 to 46, a daily graphic strip by T-Basa. On these platforms daily.
Thanks, T-Basa. Thanks for explaining where they can find that, and maybe neglecting to mention that they can also find it every single fucking day in our Discord. Join our Discord. It's a cool thing. If you know what Discord is, that's great. If you don't, you don't have to. Ash Maddie's dropping a link to it in the chat. We are moving on to album recs. I got 3 for you. Let's motor through these. First, Something Else by the Kinks. This is one of their late 60s era albums. They'd already kind of had some success, and they're kind of fat and happy, but also very nostalgic for old England. It's just a dorky, nerdy record made by some people who are extraordinarily talented artists, and it's just fun to listen to on like a Sunday. So tomorrow, listen to this. When you have a Weird Night hangover, tomorrow, listen to Something Else by the Kinks. Next, Black on Both Sides by Mos Def. This is a seminal album in the genre of hip hop, period. Mos Def, at this period, this is 20 years ago, I believe, is maybe the best rapper in the game. I mean, his flow, his content, there is no predicting where he's going to end up, and you don't even want to, because he's such a wonder to behold. He's also somebody I saw perform live once, and he performed, his DJ could not get to the show. All his beats, everything wasn't with him. And he came out and sang for 45 minutes a cappella, and just so passionately and so vibrantly. It's just, Mos Def was on fucking fire. Check out Black on Both Sides. And lastly, went local, but also something to be considered quite spectacular, much in the same vein that I talked about Bandmade in our last episode. Seattle band Mindbeams released an album called Crone, I believe last year. It was an absolutely fantastic record that never got the real love it deserved. And the lead singer, who bears a striking resemblance to someone, but I can never place it, Meredith Meyer, has such a commanding stage presence. The musicality of Mindbeams is incredible. But just when you look at them or see a video of them, and they're just chugging along, and there's these proggy interludes, all of a sudden it will stop and it can become a European folk song out of nowhere. It's awesome. It's an absolute stunner of a record. Mindbeams is a stunner of a band. If we ever have live shows again, make sure you see Mindbeams live, because they're really great. You can listen to all of this shit on the Weird at Night Selects playlist. It's not hard to find. It's on Spotify. Ash Maddie's dropping a link into the chat. Just give it a follow. We have about 1,000 songs in there, or more maybe, at this point, because we've been cataloging all of our artist recs throughout this whole period. So there's so many. You could listen to Nina Simone, and then listen to Mindbeams, and then listen to Bandmade, and then listen to Aerosmith, and then listen to Black Star, and then listen to Wu-Tang, and then listen to Massive Attack. It could go like that. It should go like that. Just put it on random and let it roll. I can't promise that everything will be to your taste, but I think it's at least interesting. So check it out. Weird Night Selects. We also dropped links to the YouTube in there. Links to the YouTube. Coming up, we have Blaze in Space. We're going to do an artist zoom on Jake Hansen, presented by Nanamucho. There's some TikTok terribleness in your future, and Doc Blammer has some thoughts to share about the NBA, which is interesting because I don't watch the NBA at all for years, ever since the Supersonics moved out of Seattle. But recently I was having a porch conversation and being a negative Nancy about the NBA with Doc Blammer, who is a huge NBA fan, and Blazing Space, who's kind of hyped about the NBA right now because we're all watching something. And somehow the other day I ended up watching like a game and a half of basketball and really enjoying it too. So anyway, somehow basketball came up and now basketball's a thing. So it's a thing. So anyway, before we do that, we have Mere Death with a very, this.
I'm going to do a poetry tonight. 1. Tits. Thirst for others and the otherness is unquenching. Darling, I will make it weirder for everyone before I can be comfortable. Get on my level, pal. It's simpler in story. Cuter in song, more endlessly fascinating in fractured growth. Didn't put shit at all into simple page poetry. The lack of swirl and fancy wasn't possible from word alone. No matter you're clever, obsessive, come on your fucking shirt, god fucking damn it. Her Icelandic fuckery aside, Björk got it right.
Scientific truth, which is much better. You shouldn't let poets lie to you.
Bronzer in the skin, and dear God, I would remember trigger warnings that the world wasn't full of maggots and decay already to such an extent that if you haven't seen it yet, you will soon. Anyways, do you have a good relationship with your parents? Ask because my dad is dead. Now I'm learning to love the fragile inside of people and trees, treating every day like a precious gift. So yeah, are your parents alive and sorta cool, or first date buzz with Meredith? So yeah, that's kind of a first date vibe for me. Gentle mind. No, I am actually quite cool and fun, and a real blast at times, and very beautiful. Full stop. I am mostly a deeply wounded human with a hair trigger and a good deal of skeletons in my closet. Go wide, and they're open. They're holding baggage. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I swear. Hi. I'm glad you're here. Being here is hard. I know. Let's fuck around and just stay here. You know? We can choose not to leave before our time. And it is punk as fuck to do. It is hard. And it is punk as fuck to do. It is hard. And it is punk as fuck to do. Third part. Connection and distance. Some thoughts. I believe in the astral theory of friendship that a shady bard gifted me years ago. We are in orbits and gravitational relation to all of matter. If you must make it supersized and metaphoric, then see yourself as a planet. There are other planets, and comets, and suns and stars and asteroids and space stuff, all roaming around seemingly at random. But it all has a tide to itself, and we can call that gravity for the metaphor. I I can never assume that I know the length of the transits between close orbits between myself and anyone else. When I forget to trust that people will come close again, or that despite distance there is still a connection of psychic gravity, then I suffer needlessly in the grip of unfounded paranoia and wild self-centered speculation. We are tied, even if we have such a wide orbit that our paths will never meet again. And if so, then so it goes. I'd like to give a big shout out to Kurt Vonnegut. Love you, bud.
Weird at Night. Your friends at the Dark Levers of Power remind you to never ever allow anything to change ever, because the people for the ethical treatment of the extremely wealthy, we cage 'em, you pay 'em. Insecurity, the distrust you can trust. Instagram, Facebook, Visa, Freddie Mac, Tinder, Goldman Sachs, basically whatever institution exists. Still a fine core company. Shitty's Pizza, the hospital is next door. Use promo code Why God Do We Suffer. There's a free depubing, normally $4.99. Limit 1 per customer. We've talked a lot about the efficacy of consuming pizza with this pube free. And I think that's always going to be important. So that will never stop being important. And then Don's long gone hedge fund capital asset acquisitions and exchange company / firm, a fine core company. Yum, 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 coin, 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 chew, chew, chew. Send on all your money and something will happen. Because Don thinks that money rules now. And it's weird. I tried to talk to Don. Don's changed. Don's not the same person. He appears to have the scalp of John Hamm sewn to his head and a fake chin. But he says he's happy. Let's go to something.
I'm going to talk to you this evening on the subject of the spectrum of love. There arise among human beings people who seem to exude love as naturally as the sun gives out heat.
Sometimes it's so confusing living in between, brushing up against what's unseen while it's punching me. Though my purpose goes beyond floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee, I know it's hard to see. Warrior blood on the ground, rows of concrete, tear up these streets of greatest power being naturally. As we are who we be, grow with purpose, we build and we grow. For the children we owe, a world we don't know, but for the seeds that we sow, and the tears that we cried, water the losses of time, reclaim and reroot, and what we know is truth. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Pull from inside more than our skin, it's the culture and vibe. We on a quest, we come from a tribe. Our hope won't subside, we are the moon and the tide. We ebb and we flow for the purpose of life. To love and be loved, to love and be loved, to love and be loved. What's up, Rainier Beach community?
Some executive from FineCorp just woke me up because I guess I'm supposed to tell y'all that it's gonna be a bright new day because this week's episode of Blaze in Space is in super FineCorp HD. Gee, thanks for waking me up, you pleasant assholes.
Oh shit.
Hi, is there going to be a third?
I have just one question. Are you sleeping with him?
I'm going to get you folks some bread.
Welcome to another edition of Wake and Bake. I like strawberries. Thanks to our new corporate overlords, I guess, for waking me up. Seeing all the conventions, speeches, and getting to watch people's responses to those. People can, it's amazing how people are completely uninvolved and who I've, watched not really give a shit about other people besides themselves, seem to like to talk a big game when they're trying to tear down people who are trying to bring people together. And by no means am I saying, rah, 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 let's all be on the blue team, because that's another one of the corporate teams against all of us. But let's get this fascist piece of shit out of here and behind bars where he belongs. And then let's protest this next administration and keep trying to get the reforms that we need. But I don't think going backwards makes sense anymore. Alright, that's about as political as I think we'll get on a Blaze in Space segment.
What kind of a picture is it? Well, just for openers, it's a tender love story with monsters, spies, international jewel thieves, school moms, daredevils, cops and robbers. School moms? Sex pots, beatniks, a girl who stole the Eiffel Tower.
So I'm coming at you. Super HD this week as we talk about. And I have 2 previews for you on this week's Blaze in Space. Now, the first preview you're going to see is of the new short film that I'm working on. And it's called Forget the Flowers and Your Monster. And so I'm working on an original score for it right now. Emily Ravenscraft is working on that for me. And so I'm going to just share little snippets of this film. It was, I'll tell you the whole story maybe as we get a little further into it. But for now, just enjoy this little snippet of a silent short film I've been working on and getting scored by E. Ravenscraft. Enjoy.
All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us so far. We have a ton more, and it's going to be an epic night. So stick around. But for now, go get something to drink, take a piss, or just All right, we're going to keep it moving. Gizmo in the house. So, moving forward to our next half of the show, we got Matt Ashworth has submitted yet more TikTok for us to mock and malign. Doc Blammer has some weird basketball thoughts. They are weird. But right now, we are looking at the work of, not yet. That was not supposed to be there yet. No, that was not supposed to be there yet. We're going to look at the work of photographer Jake Hansen, who does business in the scene as Truly Bogus. Jake Hansen's captured live photos for Nada Mucho, for KEXP, Freak Out Records, and a whole bunch of other people. He is somebody that has been around and in the scene for a long time and is really well respected. He's also a really great guy. So kind of in addition to a keen eye for capturing the vibe and emotion of a live set, we thought it'd be cool to do a little drill down on the portraits that he's also captured. So tonight we're going to look at his portrait work. It's part one of a series that we're going to do. But this is presented by NadaMucho.com, who, if you don't know, is the editor of NadaMucho.com, resides in these very chat walls. So check out NadaMucho.com as well. But let's look at some of Jake's work here. This is Action S, an amazing kind of hardcore punk, all kind of things band that you have to see to believe almost. Jake's also worked with Dirty Dirty. These are a couple shots of them that are really good from Summit Block Party, and then kind of at an old practice space in Belltown. This is Evan Flory Barnes, Jake said it was impossible to capture him in a single mood, so very happy that he let him switch from the initial moody, low-key approach to a more animated, kind of SNL-inspired bumper shot. This is Fretland. This band has kind of become one of Jake's favorite new bands and comprised of some really great people. They did this shot in Snohomish this past year. This is Frond. I love this picture. It just captures such a vibe so quickly. Fruit Juice is a band that has been around forever, and if you haven't seen them live, go look them up on YouTube and make a note to see them again in the future. This is Golden Idols. And Brian Granger from The Grizzled Mighty. There's a band called Idols. Iron and Wine. Just a ton of really, really cool stuff. So, we are going to be looking a lot more at Jake's work over the next couple weeks on Saturday. So, come back next Saturday, get more, see more of Jake Hansen's work. Thanks, Jake, for sharing your stuff with us. And we are moving right along. And where are we moving to? Well, I was telling you, Doc Blammer had some stuff to say, and here he is.
Good evening, and welcome to Doc Blammer's Weird Basketball Thoughts. Weird. 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 Let's begin. As a Jew, I love basketball. It's part of our religion, and I particularly love the NBA. I find the NBA to be one of the only sports not completely embarrassing itself right now in how it is handling the pandemic and handling a restart under the pandemic. I think that may have to do with scale, and that may actually reflect on sustainability. And it also has something to do with player health and safety. So, let's talk about it. Okay, the NBA, in general, only has about 300 players total. There's only 10 guys on the court at one time. Basketball team plays 5 guys at a time. That's one of the reasons I like the sport. Small scale. It's 5 guys trying to move a ball around, get it in the hoop. Okay, the NBA took an additional step of throwing out a few teams when they had this restart. They're just like, you guys have no chance. Get out of here. We don't care. We don't want you here. Okay, so they're only inviting about 100 to 200 players total, which means they can fit it in this bubble scenario in Walt Disney World in Orlando. And they can have this bubble scenario, and they can test players every day, and they can make sure that they are COVID-free every day. And so far, it is working. They have a completely COVID-free facility and league playing basketball, so it doesn't feel totally reprehensible. Again, as I said, the only sport not totally embarrassing itself. Additionally, the NBA is just fucking smart. It's a good product, and they've made it a really good product by doing things like starting the games at 10 a.m. on a weekday, which is usually a terrible idea when it's baseball during real life times, except this is a pandemic time. If you're not an essential worker or a basketball playing in a bubble, you should be at fucking home, chilling out and watching a basketball game in the morning, getting high. Okay. Other things that are really cool. People watching the game at home can have their image piped into the crowd, virtual crowd, on the side of the arena while players are playing if it's their home game, and it kind of creates a virtual fan base. That's cool. Another cool thing, kids of the players are announcing the players in the starting lineup. Great deal. Everybody loves it. And of course, the NBA is having social messages, social justice messages on their uniforms, which, this corporate and whatnot But still, we're not seeing a lot of other leagues do that, except the WNBA, who's kicking everybody's ass, with just coming out and being like, fuck all of y'all, say Breonna Taylor's name, say the names of these other murdered black women. When the national anthem plays, we're gonna leave the fucking court. We're not gonna fucking kneel. We're just gonna run off the fucking court. So kudos to the WNBA. The NBA could get even better, but so far they're kicking a lot of other leagues' ass. Okay, so it's a good product. That is the other thing, player health and safety. We've got to talk about that. There was an NBA article that came out a year or two ago and explained the gruesome realities of what happens when you play a basketball game at night, take a shower, do an hour of interviews, get on an airplane, then fly a couple hours, land in a city, go through all the other shit to check into a hotel, and you get to bed around 3 a.m. in the morning. Then you wake up and you do practice again, and you play another game, and then you fly on to another city after that. That wreaks hell on athletes' bodies, and people don't want to tell the truth about it. It's bad for their long-term health in general. It also creates serious injuries over the courses of their careers that will shorten their careers. This is known now. Okay, so here's the thing. They're in the bubble. Nobody's traveling. Portland is not going to LA to play LA, and LA is not going to Portland to play Portland. They're both playing in Orlando, Florida, in this bubble. So that's going to cut down on the injuries. And it's going to increase the performance. So, to conclude, one last time, great product, NBA, you're doing right. And everybody think about scale. Think about what is the scale of your organization. Is it too big to fail? Is it too big to succeed? Is it big enough or small enough that when there's a global pandemic, you can condense it and fit into a bubble and make sure everybody's safe and tested and disease-free? Is that something you can accomplish? Is that the baseline for the scale of your organization and how it can work? Can you keep the disease out? Metaphorical or literal? Thanks, everybody. This has been Doc Blammer's Weird Basketball Thoughts. Weird. 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 Back to you, Pat.
Good to have Doc Blammer back in the saddle, in the fold with us. So good to have you back, Doc Blammer. We will be hearing more from him about the NBA and other assorted things that Doc Blammer thinks whenever he thinks them. We are about to move on to something, and I just wanted to give you all a little bit of a warning, okay? What you're about to see is absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. We're talking cool dad stuff. Cool dad stuff. Horrific. Matt Ashworth is terrible at TikTok, and I have proof. And now you do too. So, every day a cool dad discovers a new platform, and this is that story. Matt Ashworth is terrible at TikTok. Here we observe our subject. Hashtag Dad's Corner.
Dad's Corner. The hotel's here, but you said there. I'm sick of flying storms.
What disturbs me most about this is this probably took a long time for him to do. God. What the fuck is this? Oh, fuck.
With decorations, feet get tough. Feet with molasses and some poplar seed fluff.
Wow. So this was food and feet. Matt seems to have real proclivity with. So these were Matt's proper TikToks. These were not done on Musical.ly, which they had been done in the previous bit from last week. But this was on TikTok proper, but this was before. in the before times. Stick with us, and we will uncover the final volume of Matt Ashworth's terrible TikTokness. Thank you, Matt. Okay, so we have two things to do still. And before we do, I just want to remind you to go check out the Weird at Night, the shop of Weird at Night, the shopofwan.com that we just went live today. We have some really cool stuff there, and it really does help out. Merch and stuff like that is a great way to support the show. If you have the money to do it. If you don't worry about it. But we have two things left to do, and the first thing we're going to do is automatic writing. So, if you don't know what automatic writing is, I count back from 10, and as I do, you try to clear your mind and let go of everything that you can think of. And then when I say go, at the end of 10, you start writing frantically in the chat and try not to edit at all or think egoically or use any silliness. Just write everything you think. And then after a period of time, I'll say stop, and you'll stop and hit return or enter, and we'll all read what we wrote. Does that sound cool? Well, I'm going to do it anyway. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, stop. Hit enter. Okay. I'll start reading. We got a bunch. Okay. Go, I said, but not to where, which I didn't know. Funny how that works out sometimes, but also interesting. I think I should have been a detective, but not of shoes. Like a real one. Except then I would be a corrupt piece of shit, and that's a bummer I can't endure. Let's just pretend I'm a host of a stream on Twitch and call it good. Call it good, he said. Anyway, nachos are better than ham. Most things are. Blaze in space. I had to balance my joint to do this. Felt like a fire hazard, but I love Pat. So here it is. The suspense, it's burning. No, really it is. I shouldn't have done that. Calling 911. Oh God. Oh God, can't see anything. Gotta escape. This is intense. Oh wait. Found the water hose. Getting it under control. Now got the fire extinguisher. Stardust has her own sprayer. We are battling it. We are winning. Yes. The fire is out. Day is saved. Wow. That was quick. Meardeath, I'm behind, and before you say something cute, I have only ladies of soup. Between here and this time in the next 7 days, please let the rain always come when called. She is saucy, she is spicy, and there's bird shit on my fucking car still. Olga Lowe. There is nothing to let go and a let down. Don't you dare think of how an edit could be as simple as silly, and I am not able to always be on, and I am looking for something inside of myself that hasn't yet come to pass. So let's do it anyways, darlings. I will seal your minuscule moments away. Of that I have no doubt. TC Blackout. Hope it isn't Wednesday, not that I am keeping track. Don't wear suits. Don't shoot sweets. Don't riddle me this, just not keeping track. Ain't nothing wrong if ain't done. Dome or something like that. Ash Matty. Floating and bleeding on dragons that look like Matthew McConaughey, only he's the smoking man from the X-Files. Loud tapping underwater broccoli has my feet tingling again for third time tonight. Or is it today? Vitamin C does not seem important when you're John Kennedy. I woke up not sweaty. Wow, that was great. That was excellent. And we are going to end with something just as excellent, which is an absolutely epic presentation from Blaze in Space. There's a lot of stuff you should pay attention to in here. It's going to be great. I love you all. I hope you'll join us in the voice chat on Discord at the end of the of Blaze in Space's seg. And I hope that we will see you on Tuesday. We have so much more to do, so much more to see. It's been a pleasure to share this evening with you. I love you all. Blaze in Space, take us home.
Réveillez-vous. Est-ce que quelqu'un veut aller aux toilettes?
Okay, now our second preview. You're going to get to see right now a preview of the Astral Media Lab, new audio-video podcast, The Laboratory. And this first episode stars Noel Brass Jr., who's a good friend of mine, friend of Weird at Night. His music is oftentimes the background in my segments. Noel is just incredible. And next week is a very special Weird at Night that's starting at 11 p.m. and not midnight, because at 10 p.m., just before Weird at Night, right here on this same channel, I'm going to be showing you the first episode of the Astral Media Lab podcast. And before that, at 9 p.m., Jimmy Jackson is going to do a DJ set showcasing all the music that he's helped release from Disco Droppings and Seven Deadly Records. So it's a 3-hour extravaganza of very special Weird at Night. And here is a preview of the Astral Media Lab podcast, The Laboratory, which is going to be premiering before Weird at Night next Saturday.
Inspiring. I'm going always back to jazz and soul realm, and funk, and there's enough in town to see live that you could stay occupied with that for a lifetime.
Do you see live music a lot?
You know what, the thing is, I have to say I don't. I mean, I guess that's the whole joke, huggy musician, never get to dance.
Well, especially for a tap dancer like yourself.
Yeah, I'd like to get back into that. Honestly.
I would like you to get back into that as well.
Maybe we can incorporate that with our...
Is Noel a tap dancer?
Yes. Everybody's a tap. If you got some ideas about rhythm, you're a tap dancer.
Tap dancer, yeah.
This is amazing.
But of course, there's some great musicians in town. Joe Doria is one of my favorite keyboardists to see live. All his crew, and Devon Lewis. There's just so much great music. You can't even begin to name people off.
I'm going to talk to you this evening on the subject of the spectrum of love. There arise among human beings people who seem to exude love as naturally as the sun gives out heat.
Welcome back to Reading Rainbows with Blazing Space. I wanted to read you a song, and this I often think of as from me to myself. Blazing Space, this is to you, Blazing Space. I should warn you, when I'm not well, I can't tell. And there's nothing I can do to make this easier for you. You're going to need to be patient with me. I'm this apple, this happening stone when I'm alone. Oh, but my blessings get so blurred at the sound of your words. I'm going to need you to be patient with me. How can I warn you when my tongue turns to dust? Like we've discussed, it doesn't mean that I don't care. It means I'm partially there. You're gonna need to be patient with me. And I think a good follow-up to that one. Sunlight angles on a wooden floor at dawn. A ceiling fan is on, chopping up my dreams. What is left of them I take to sleep again, where I dare pretend I'm more than I seem. Tears get triggered. Yours remind me of the ice melting in my glass, finally full again. So I listen for your lips to break apart into words. It definitely starts to spoil my heart. Somewhere there's a war, and sometimes there's art. When I'm awake enough, I'm going to shake it off. Shake it off. Hotels hold me. Thoughts horizon, so many hearts beating in one place like a giant beast with many souls. No, just a body full of holes. When I'm awake enough, I'm going to shake it off. And when I'm awake enough, I'm going to shake it off. Shake it off. So yeah, be patient with you. Love you.
One of the peculiar things we notice about people who have this astonishing universal love is that they are apt, but not always so, but they are apt very often to play it rather cool.
One, two, 3.